very excited to be able to share my scrapbook and stamp room with you guys. This is about a 10 by 11 scrapbook room, and it's a spare bedroom in our house. I just finished moving everything in here about a week ago. I did have a different office that was in a laundry room in our house, and I did switch that with my husband so he could have that space instead. So I just want to show you guys what's in here. So on this wall, I have this little cabinet right here that my dad built me when I was little. It was made to store doll clothes, and now I use it to store just different little things. These are jewelry, embellishments, some little findings, notions. So these top two drawers are jewelry items. The third drawer is empty, and this last drawer is where I store my stamping plates for my nail polish stampers, and then just other nail polish items and supplies. This is just a set of different drawers that I've gotten from lots of different places. They're originally made for a Keurig coffee pot that you would set the coffee pot up on top of it and keep the K-cups down here. I use this for storing my sewing threads. I do them by color order. And then I also store my washi tape in here. Most of the washi tape fits fine in here. I'm going horizontal like this. There's a few that are wider that just don't quite fit, and I'll put these vertically in here, and it works perfectly. I do put some little tissue paper down back in the back here to kind of keep those little ones from sliding back all the way. But I store these in all color order, and yes, I have a lot of washi tape, but I use it on quite a few of my projects. And each of these little drawers, one of them I did buy for full price with a coupon, but all the others I found at thrift stores. Just a disclaimer for pretty much my whole entire room is from thrift stores, Salvation Army, Goodwill, garage sales, things I've repurposed. I love to use old things and use them for different items. I have some candy jars over here. These are just some more nail polish supplies, and I've got some more tapes that won't fit in here. Also on this wall, I have this bookcase. I have my record player, my tape player, CD, radio. It's all in one. Love it. Found it at the thrift store. And these are where I keep my CDs, and then I've got all my records here for that. This little set of drawers right here is where I store batteries and just other miscellaneous supplies. I keep re-inkers for my ink pads right here. I keep some scrapbook sketches right here. More scrapbook sketches down here. These are by Allison Davis and Scrapbook Generations, and they normally come in books like this where they're all bound together with one theme. But I unbind them and put them in order in one notebook by order of how many photos are in there. I will list where I found which book this came from, and then I can just kind of flip through and figure out which look I would like to kind of work from for my my photos on my layout. I was on the scrapbook design team for Allison Davis when she did sketch support. I love them. So on here, this is just a storage I use for different office supplies, and then above it I have two little bins right here that I use for my colored mist. These are neutral colors, and then these are actual colors for spray mist. This is where I keep my adhesives, and I have everything from tape runners to my ATG tape. I've got my Canon selfie printer refills. I have my glue gun. Right over here, I have my baker's twine. There's colors. I have neutrals. I have some other miscellaneous ones, some yarns, and then I've got my embroidery threads down here. I have my Sew Easy tool here. Just receipts right over there. Right down here is where I store my 8.5x11, like specialty papers, labels, whatever is 8.5x11 goes here. These are some of my rainbow loom, some of my daughter's refills for her rainbow loom. I have the sponges that I use with different ink pads. This one is clear embellishments in a little tackle box, and here's what those tackle boxes look like. This one has just themed embellishments in here. This one is holiday, travel, love, food, military, and then I just kind of have them all subdivided in here. They're in bags and divided, so I know exactly who made what. This one is more themed items. These two are chipboard shapes divided out. So on top of my little bookcase. This is a little spinner rack. I am not sure what this was supposed to originally hold, but it does hold those 4x6 photo pocket cases really, really well. And then I hold a lot of my background stamps, my wood stamps that I do not want to take off the blocks. Okay, on top of my little spinner, I do have another jewelry organizer, and then I have a couple other boxes here I store photos in, and then right up here, these are things I use when I travel different places for scrapbooking or stamping. And then these little jars, I store my buttons in by color, and then there's another set kind of back behind here where I store trims and laces by color. Next to that one bookcase, I've got a whole set of drawers from Michael's that I store quite a bit of things in. And on top of that, I have a bookcase that I got for free at a garage sale. And this one, I store all my stamps on here. I'm going to do a breakout video of exactly how I store these and what all goes into all of this. So I don't keep sets together, I keep them by theme. So this one, for instance, is rulers, and I'll put, you know, wood stamps that I've pulled them off the backings, and here I'll put clear stamps. They all just go in this one thing. I do put them in magazine holders turned on their sides, so it does help them to kind of stand up. Again, with this magazine holders on the sides, on this shelf it was a little bit taller, so I have kind of a shelf right here that I can store some of my larger alphabet stamp sets. Right next to it, I have these two red binders. So it's photocopies of my stamp sets done by manufacturers, so I can remember what stamp was in what set and where I need to go to find it. This is just some scratch paper I use when I am stamping. These drawers right here, this is just where I keep current stamping projects I'm working on. This is a drawer of just white cardstock scraps. So I will stamp on the back sides of it, or it may be things I've cut out with my silhouette, and I will still use those for stamping. I do have some real thin pieces of cardstock here that I cut down and keep for labeling my scrapbook pages with journaling. This one holds tape. Quite a few of these down here are cold storage for my photos once I know I'm not going to scrapbook anymore of those, or old ones I've had printed forever. I do keep my cards in here done by theme. I am not the best at sending out cards, but I have quite a few of them from several years of teaching and making. I love to make cards too, so I'll give them away or use them for something else. This drawer right here is just a bunch of miscellaneous colored embellishments. There's some larger things in here. I've got some smaller things in here, some larger things in the back. And I just flip through these and look to see what I want. So this next drawer down is miscellaneous mini embellishments. These are ones that I use quite often, so I have them pretty easily accessible. I have everything from my Studio Calico wood veneer shapes, and these are boxes that the girls from work saved me, and they work great because they, I can stand them on their ends, they fit well in these drawers, and I can just label them. And I have some more of my wood veneer shapes in these little storage things over here, so it works really, really good. This whole drawer can come out if I really need it to. This next drawer down holds my candy dots, and then these are my sequins and just different things like that. So I do have a couple of other drawers I want to show you in here. This one is a travel drawer, so this is just anything travel themed. I do a lot of different travel albums is what I've been working on lately, so I've kind of put them in. It was in this larger drawer, and I've just kind of moved it down here. That may move again just so I can get into it a little bit easier. This drawer is some more of my wood mount stamps. These are like Christmas, winter themed ones. I've got some office stamps in the back. These are stamps that my sister and I had when we were little. Just things I don't want to unmount, things I don't use all that often, but I know where they are. This next drawer are alphabet stamps. These are ammunition boxes that I use to store my little alphabets in. These were a little bit taller, so the box I got, they're kind of flush with the top right here, and so with this part they would kind of fall out with that extra like 1/2 inch, 3/4 inch. So I put some foam in the top. These were Michael's dollar sets that I've had for years and years. And when they were still in the box like this, in the set they came in, the packaging they came in, I just colored with a Sharpie marker on them so that I could differentiate which sets were which. And then I knew exactly where to put those alphabet stamps back. I have a couple other smaller alphabets in there, and I know exactly where to get those. So right down here I have a recycling bin, and I have my trash can that's kind of in this little niche. So right up here, I do have my embossing heat guns right here. I do keep this little clothespin with just ideas I'm working on in there. I have just a cleaner I use for my work surface. I've got my OttLite. And then these little bins, what I did is I cut the little notches off of them. They had little pieces that kind of stopped the drawer from coming all the way out. And I cut those off with X-Acto knives. And I just store everything in here, so now I can pull the whole drawer out and see exactly what's in there and use it on my workspace and then put it back. And I'm able to keep things right here by my workspace. So I've got like stamp positioners, pieces, stamp scissors, whatever. I've got ink pads. I've got miscellaneous chipboard. These are labels that I use quite often on a lot of different projects. Right next to it, I have my ATG gun, and then this I think was like a silverware caddy that I got from a thrift store, and I keep my We Are Memory Keeper corner chomper punches in here. Then I have my eyelet setter tool. This box holds my scissors, my water spray, my liquid adhesive. I've got some stamp masking tape. This is water brushes, stamp positioners, all kinds of stuff back here. Up on this bin, I have foam squares. I have packaging, just different packaging from, stamp sets or whatever. And I use those for stamping on or, for projects, journaling, that kind of stuff. This is my miscellaneous stamped image drawer. These are images I've either stamped. These are from Texana Designs, from design team stuff I was working on. And I'll have extras I stamp of them, so either they're not colored or they are just extras that I don't need, backgrounds, that kind of thing. This set is just neutral stamped images. These are just some stamps that I've stamped in different colors, and I've pre-cut these out. I do them while we're watching movies or whatever, and then that way they're already ready to go. I can just put them on my projects. These are colored ones, sorted by colors. Right over here, I've got a little holder that my son made me years and years ago for my cell phone that I still use. This is a wooden cassette tape holder that holds some ink pads that I use. Right on top, I've got a little tray that holds paper that I can keep track of my supply list for projects. I've got some punches here. These are my Wink of Stella pens. Love the clear glitter. These hold different things. These are my silhouette die-cut words that I've either cut extras of or just didn't use. They go in there. These are my shapes cut from my silhouette. These are my Just Right and Seven Gypsies stampers. And then these are the So Easy little pre-inked stamping tool things. These are watercolors, watercolor pens, that kind of stuff. These are my gelatos, and these are very, very new, and I've really kind of enjoyed working with these, so you'll see some more things coming from me with that. And I have Sharpie markers. Up on top on this little shelf, I have some candles. I have my pens and pencils, colored pencils, my Fiskars paper trimmers, rulers, just some miscellaneous supplies. And then right over here, this is, again, one of those things I keep. I guess I have a lot of ideas. A lot of things I want to do. I'll keep those in there. This is an old Coke crate. And this was from my mom's hometown, so it's kind of special to me. I used to keep my ink pads in here, and I just kind of outgrew it, and the slots were kind of weird how they were set up, so it was really hard to keep too many different kinds in there. So I have a different system for that now. But this is where I keep extra twine that's been cut. These are my distress stains, and these are just little bins from the Dollar Tree that I found years ago. These are some of my stamping blocks. These are the smaller blocks. I've got some tags, library cards, and pockets. Up on top are my embossing powders and just different tools like that. Little water cup right there. I've got a lamp with some storage in there. And then these units right here, and then this one right here are kind of the same thing as that cassette tape holder. This is my trash bin. But they hold like 4x6 slots. So these little 4x6 photo sleeves work really, really well in there. And these are just some photos I'm working on. These are my pro markers, and they just line up about 7 or 8 of them in a slot. And I'll do another breakout video showing a little bit more about my pro marker alcohol ink markers. Very similar to Copics. This is my storage for my ink pads, and this is how I store them all kind of together, except for those few you saw over on the other workspace. And they're just all mixed up. I do have some Gamsol down here, some Hero Arts daubers, some just tools I use a lot. This little thing right here is a little holder that I found at a thrift store, and it works great for keeping my scissors there. I've got some stamp cleaner. This little bin moves, but it holds my stamp blocks. I've got my Fisker stamp press, my baby wipes, larger blocks, stamp scrubber. This is my TV that kind of spins. It's hooked to my computer, which is right here. And this way it can watch movies and things from over here, and also use it with my computer by spinning it around. So this little container right here, how I store my bling. So it's like my pearls, my gems, all those kind of things. I got where buying a lot of colored ones, and then you can't find exactly the right color you need. So I've gotten where I'll buy clear or I'll buy white, and I will color them with my alcohol ink markers or Sharpie markers to kind of make them whatever color I want. I found that's a better use of matching than what I was doing before. I found these on clearance for just a few cents each, and what I do is I cut these apart with my X-Acto knife, and I'll use them as individual little gems instead of a whole word. I've got a bunch of other ones, and they're just kind of divided up in here. I've got rolls of different ones. Again, all these were kind of found on clearance. I will not be buying any more for quite a while because I did not know how many I had until I got everything set up in this room. Up above this is kind of my L workspace, and right up above is where I store a lot of my other supplies. These are where I store my 6x6 paper pads. Right up here are some idea books. These are my felts that are stored by color. That one's empty. These are just different drawers that I've cut kind of the same way, so they pull all the way out. They store different things like more embossing powders, my Pearl X, Heidi Swap chipboard alphabets, different markers where I have mostly full sets of some of these distress markers, different white gel pens, that kind of thing. These hold Q-tips, just different supplies, hooks, that kind of thing. These are my alphabet drawers. I just pull them down to my workspace. This is my S, T, and U drawer, and these were just old letters that I used to label those with. And these are like metal, chipboard, plastic, decorated paper, die cut, that kind of stuff. And they're all done by letter. So all my S's are in this one bag, my T's are in here, my U's are in here. And then they have separate little bags for each other manufacturer inside. So it works great for me being able to kind of flip through, see what I have, and go from there. So right down here I have this little stool that I got from a neighbor when he was moving, and it does flip out. It's an antique and flips out to be a little step stool, so it's kind of cool. I like it. Right now, this is where I store my my bigger paper trimmer, my silhouette supplies. This is just miscellaneous stuff I don't get into very often. Store is where I store my glitters. So I've got my neutral colors, my colors, and then some little like glass bead type things, and these come completely out, so I can pull these out and put them on my work surface and match colors. This is where I store watercolors, some colored pencils, and blending stumps for my Gamsol. And then these are my stickles and some of my glitter glues. I do store these in lipstick kind of containers that I found at the thrift store. They work great for holding them right up to other ones. What I do is I cut just pieces of PVC pipe. I think it's about 1.25 inches or so, and I will put those in here, and then everything will, these will slid around just a little bit, but everything will stay put, and they will stay right side up so that I can use them easily or more easily. So those just store on top. These next two drawers are my ribbons. I do have a dedicated ribbon scissor that I use, and then these are ribbons that I store on my little chipboard labels, and I will label who the manufacturer is and where I got it. So if I need more, I can go in and get these. These I just don't pull off. There's not a whole lot on those. So I just leave them as is. And then these are scraps of ribbon. So I have my color drawer, and then these are my neutrals. Next 6 drawers right here. I have a whole nother set of drawers, but these are my color drawers, and these are where I keep my embellishments by color, the majority of them. And these I label with just little pieces of ribbon to show what colors are in which drawer. This is my yellow, orange, and purple color. I'll keep smaller packages up here. Larger packaged items are here on the side. I have, trims and ribbons and things. And then these are where I store the little embellishments in jewelry boxes. So for example, if I have more of certain colors like red and pink, I have a bin up here. This is all my red stuff. So the smaller things go in the front, the bigger things in the back. Got my pink. And then I've got the jewelry organizers for each color. So this one's the red. The one on the bottom is the pink. This drawer right here and this drawer right here are a lot of my most used tools. These have things like foam blending tools, little liquid glues, erasers, tweezers, X-Acto knives, just things I reach for quite often. Right over here I've got my date stamps, I have an alphabet stamp, my Tim Holtz mini attacher, just lots of different things in here. This last set of drawers, the top drawer is empty for now. Or next drawer down, this is an antique printer's tray, and this has a lot of just miscellaneous embellishments that I didn't have a ton of, but just wanted to be able to see easily. So I'll have some die cut packs that I can kind of flip through here. I've got brads, I have tags, you name it, it's in here, so I know where to go to look for those things. Now these next 2 drawers are my Project Life drawers. I've been very good about kind of keeping track of what we've been doing for the most part for Project Life. These are larger things that just won't fit anywhere else, but they are related, so I just keep them in with those. I have not been great about actually scrapbooking anything with Project Life yet, and I don't know if it's because my Project Life system organization wasn't together or I'm just intimidated a little bit to begin, but this is where everything is stored. These are just different die cuts I've gotten from different places that I've punched out and cut out and clipped together. These are little notebooks that are themed journaling pads. These are like little snap album cards, 3x4 cards. Just different ones. I have October afternoon ones in here. I just make little dividers so I know exactly what they are and who made them. So OA is October afternoon. I've got Technique Tuesday cards in here, just all kinds of miscellaneous things. These are where I keep my Making Memories journal notepads. They're back there. Got some other, notepads back here. And this is another one of those 4x6 photo boxes that store some more of these notepads that I have ripped out of other things, other ones, and they're in there. I've got little tags in here. Everything is just pretty well organized so I can see where things are. For this last drawer, this is where I keep my Project Life kit pieces. There's a few other tags and things in here. I keep some We Are Memory Keeper parts in here. There are some pebbles, some separate little Project Life mini kits, some more We Are Memory Keepers. But anyway, it's just easy. I can go through and flip and see what I want to use really, really easily. So that works really well for me. Okay, so we're now to the section in the middle of my room. This is kind of like a little U in the middle of my room. On top here, I have my spinner that holds a lot of my, most used tools. You guys have seen these, but I've got my label makers, scissors, paintbrushes, glues, ATG, that kind of stuff. This is where I store some markers that I don't have like full sets of, so they're kind of harder to store all together when they're different sizes. So I just throw them in here by color, know exactly where to go for those. On this cabinet right here, this is the back side of my punch cabinet that I'm going to show you in a minute. And there is a little recess nook in here, and I wasn't sure what to do with that until I found these little shelves at a thrift store, and I just kind of drilled these into the back of the cabinet. And this is how I store mine and my daughter's nail polishes. Right next to this I have a cabinet. It's about 7 inches wide, but it works perfectly for storing my Silhouette die cutting machine. And then these little bins are easily to come out, and I can put them on my desk. This holds my embossing folders and just some larger things in here. This set holds my plates for my Cuttlebug, which is right here. And I've got some of my different die cuts that I store magnets on chipboard, so I know exactly where to find those. This little cart right here is an antique typewriter stand that I got for $5 from a yard sale. It holds my sewing machine and my cuddle bug. And this little chair I also got from that same yard sale for about $5. It is really comfy. I do like it. This whole thing is on wheels, so it slides over and I can get into here much more easily if I need to. This is where I store my Canon selfie printer. I've got crayons, and these are just miscellaneous drawers of camera batteries and that kind of thing. I've got my Xyrons on the shelf there, and then right down here, these are my steel rule dies, and then I'm using an old slide drawer for storing my little tiny alphabets. These are on chipboard, and I just write the letter on the back, and then these are all my little alphabets. I have everything in here from just miscellaneous shapes to these are those little metal ones by Cuttlebug or Sussex. So those work really well. Talked about this bookshelf right here. Right next to it, this is kind of the start of my office area to my room. I do have some drawers here with some other sketches that I'd print from online or different places and just put them on Rolodex cards. I have cards pre-cut here. These are folded card bases. These are cut card bases at 4.5 or 4.25 by 5.5. On top I have my typewriter. Right down in here is my punch drawer unit, and this I got from Goodwill or garage sale, I can't remember now. But anyway, it's really, really sturdy, and I store my border punches in here, my punch sets. I've got just punches. I've taught scrapbooking for probably 10 years and lots of card classes, and I would do monthly things. So I do store quite a few of them in here, and I have quite a few. These are ones where I've labeled them on the ends, and I just stand them up so I can see exactly who makes them. This is my office area, and I have my computer and just a bunch of stuff over here. I've got files, I've got just a lot of different things for that. In that closet, it's already got stuff in it from where my husband's office was in here previously, which is fine. I don't really need it. Up here I do have some drawers that store memorabilia. These cabinets I got from IKEA, and they are great because they're really deep and they do hold my papers and keep everything closed in. These are kits that I have pre-done of photos and papers I would like to use with them, so I just kind of grab those when I want to work on something. I've got some specialty papers right here that are like holiday themed and some paper stacks. Section down is the bulk of my pattern paper. I do store it by color, surprise, surprise, but it's done by color, and then I further divide it out by pattern. So like all my lines will be together, then my polka dots and colors. I have different ones that are different themes or different die cut with a view stacks, and some of these are multi-kit things. I just don't want to break them up right now. Underneath I have just some 8x8 pattern paper stacks down here. These are just some things I'm working on. These are my 8.5/11 card stocks. I use these when I use my spray mist. I store some more items. Some of these are finished layouts. Some of these are things I've sorted to work on. Paper packs here. A lot of these are from when I taught scrapbooking for so many years. I would buy 25 of the same sheet. I just kept them and I still use them. Right next to this I have my legal file cabinet. I got this idea from Two Peas in a Bucket when they did their warehouse videos. So what I do is I come in and I do them by type and color. These are my brown alphabets, and so I'll store all my alphabet stickers in here. They're all done in here. Big, little, does not matter. They're all stuck in here. So this is a really deep file cabinet, and I'm able to store quite a few things in here. The next drawer down are my theme stickers. I have my stencils, I have masks, those kind of things, and then everything is in ABC order by themes that I can think of easily when I'm trying to scrapbook something. I have some wood frames in here I need to use. Rub-ons are back here, and then I've got some old Heidi Swap stickers that I found at Tuesday Morning for like $1.99 for the whole entire roll. Okay, this next drawer down is my camera supplies. I've got my camera bags here, my monopod. I store my big Canon camera in here. And the last drawer is just files that I use. In these drawers, I have pattern papers, all the same scraps together, are clipped together, and then I do them in color order. So these, I've also cut the sides of these in the very back so that they fully slide out, so I can pull the whole drawer out and use it, flip through it and put it back. So one of the last things I want to show you in this, these bottom 3 drawers right here are where I keep my flowers, paper flowers. And again, these are stored in those same little boxes that the girls save for me at work. And they're done by color, so I'll keep all the like flowers together. So it's really, really easy to be able to just pull out what I need. And again, these drawers come completely out, so I can take them to my workspace and kind of go through and see what I need. This last piece right here is another one of those same IKEA cabinets, and it's pretty much identical to the one over here, except that this one has doors and this one has drawers. In this top drawer, I have pretty much like my junk drawer with my tools and all my things in there that I need, wax paper, binder clips, all kinds of things. The second drawer down is where I store all my liquid glues. Then I also store my crochet thread over here. And again, it is stored by color and they're just double stacked in here, so I know exactly where to look for specific colors. Now the bottom drawer is storage for different files of mine. This is where I keep projects that I'm working on or things I have sorted specifically for other things that are just ongoing projects, like some of the Project Life things, some of my travel album items. These are specific things like making memory made a passport line. I'll keep those here. I've got different Project Life things, papers I picked out that are travel themed for my travel album that I just kind of compile in one place. This is how I store my cardstock scraps, and they're pretty much in these Cropper Hopper vertical folders. And then I've got the little 12 by 12 file folders in there, so each one has a label. And then just down in there, does not matter what size scrap, they're all in here, sorted by colors. So I have neutrals, warm colors, cool colors. Now these binders right here have these pockets in them, and they are great for storing a lot of the little things that just need to be contained a little bit more. This one has Collezzle templates, stencils, those kind of things. This one has alphabets and large stickers. These pockets in them that have tabs on the end. You can label them. And this is where I store my big 12 by 12 type alphabets, things like that. Now right up here, this is where I store my cardstocks, and these are behind doors. So this section right here are pretty much my colored cardstocks. I do keep a lot of whites and neutrals. There are some neutrals in here. This is kind of neutrals. So I do kind of sort them by type. These are close to my heart white core, and then everything else is kind of like a basil or things I get from Hobby Lobby, that kind of stuff. I do put ones up here I need to file back. So when I get lazy, I'll eventually file those back. Now these are like glittered cardstock, specialty cardstock packs, chalkboard, a lot of different things here. I've got metallic papers, and then these are specialty papers like shimmery cardstocks, vellum, different embossed cardstocks, and that kind of stuff. And then this is some 8.511 white shimmer paper that I just keep up there. And this is where I store some memorabilia type larger things that won't fit anywhere else. Page protectors or those large Ziploc bags. This is one of my Germany travel album things I've been working on. These are just large photos that need to be scrapbooked. These are some page protectors. This album is full of the Project Life, Becky Higgins type scrapbook page protectors. These are 8 by 8 page protectors, 6 by 12. And then these are just empty pockets that I use for storing and sorting different layouts that are going to be in progress. And then at the very, very top, that is where I keep some more of my memorabilia type things in those drawer systems. And I do have those along the top also. So thank you so much for joining me. I'm very excited to finally be able to show my scrapbook room, and very excited to be able to share it with you on video. Have a great day.